Hey y'all, this is Alex from the Rim Review. The Rim Review is a page that offers in-depth player analysis and gives nuance to the way you watch basketball. In this series, we're going to be looking over every single prospect, from the first overall pick to the last guy to get a Summer League contract. Some of these guys you may know and some of them you may not. Today, we're going to look at a hidden gem of this class, Bobi Klintman, the 6'10 forward playing in the NBL. When looking at Bobi Klintman, there are a few things that you want to look at first. The thing that stands out when looking at his basic information is his draft age. He is going to be one of the older prospects in this class, coming in at 21. Initially, Klintman played at Wake Forest for a couple years. However, he ended up switching and playing in the NBL this previous season. I have him graded anywhere between a late first, maybe picked at like 25, falling to potentially the second round. A lot of Bobi Klintman's draft stock is going to determine based on how he interviews and how he plays at the combine. In my opinion, he is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward prospect. Now, let's look at Bobi Klintman's offensive strengths. The first thing that is going to make scouts extremely excited about Klintman is his transition abilities. Bobi Klintman has shown flashes of pure greatness in transition. He's able to get a rebound, go coast to coast, and get to the rim. He's able to trail and hit threes. He's also able to play make in trail situations where he's able to catch the ball, rip through, and go to the rim. And finally, he's able to push and shoot off the dribble. This is all the combinations that you want in a transition player, which is why he averages 1.373 points per possession in transition. Additionally, at 6'10", his three-point shooting is superb, and 47% of all of his shots are threes. His percentages could go up a little bit, as right now he's looking more like an average shooter. However, for the amount that he shoots, and when you look at his form, you are seeing somebody that is going to be a really good shooting threat in the pros. Finally, his length and athleticism make him a lob threat, make him a really good cutter, and make him just an all-around package offensively, and somebody that is very raw. However, scouts are going to be able to work with him. If he's able to put on some more muscle, if he's able to become more confident in protecting the ball, he can be really good in this class. While these strengths are extremely promising, there are a few major weaknesses. The first of which is protecting the basketball. Bobi Klintman has a .53 assist to turnover ratio. That is one of the worst I've seen in any of the prospects for this coming draft class, and it shows when you watch the film. He's loose with the handle, he struggles with contact additionally, and he doesn't make the right reads. Additionally, his second biggest weakness is finishing through contact. While he does have a pretty big frame, he oftentimes will get out-muscled or struggle when defenders are able to stay in front of him and remain vertical. A large reason behind this is because he doesn't play off of 2 feet and frequently takes layups off balance. Finally, his closeout decision-making. Klintman's decision-making frequently leads to him settling, taking bad shots, or making kind of loose passes. I think Klintman could clear all of this up with an NBA coach and a good staff, and this could lead to him being an extremely talented player. However, these weaknesses are so large that there is a world in which it is hard for an NBA coach to put him on the floor. A lot of Klintman's success is going to determine based on how much he's willing to change his play style and adapt to the NBA, and the amount of work he's willing to put in to succeed at the next level. If he puts this all in, his flashes of being really good could make him a high caliber starter type player. However, if he's not willing to make these changes, these weaknesses might be too much for him to overcome. Now let's look at Bobi Klintman's transition abilities. Right here, you're going to see Klintman display his athleticism and run the floor in transition. While this is a very simple play, the ability to rim run is extremely necessary for him to succeed at the next level. Now let's look at the good stuff. Right here, you're going to see Bobi Klintman get a rebound and go coast to coast in order to score. He gets the ball here, and even though he's 6'10 and will play the 4 or the 5, he's able to cut the court, get to the rim, and have a nice touch shot finish. Right here, you're going to see an even more exciting play where he's able to push and flow into a really comfortable looking jump shot. Klintman is also able to do a really good job when spacing the floor in transition. As a shooter, one of the things that you want to do at the next level is be able to sprint to the corner or in a trail spot. Klintman does a really good job recognizing this in this play. He sprints to the corner and gets an open three. While this seems easy, a lot of guys' instincts is not to run to this position. However, he does a really good job spacing the floor. As you can see, he's able to recognize the fact that there's a defender right here, Matthew Dellavedova, drifts to the corner, and his teammate running through the slot allows him to get an open shot. In this position, you're going to see him in a trail situation. He passes the ball ahead, however, he remains engaged in the play and is able to flow into a really clean looking jump shot. The smoothness and quick ability of him to score here is extremely beneficial. While this is true, he really struggles finishing through contact. In this situation, he's extremely off balance when he gets the ball. Ideally, you want him to play off of 2 feet, get into the defender, lower his shoulder, and get a basket. However, in this situation, he's out of control. The one major flaw with Bobi Klintman in transition is his ability to protect the basketball. This is going to be a theme throughout this video. In this possession, you're going to see him have a relatively loose handle, not recognize the wolf, which would be this defender right here, and put the ball out for him to get an easy steal. Klintman needs to work on protecting the basketball to succeed in the next level. In this drive, he shows flashes of being able to push to score, however, he's off balance, misses a kick, and it leads to a charge. Right here, if he was able to play off of 2, he could throw it to this man who could either cut to the basket or go to the corner. He could also jump stop and maybe have a pump fake and do some kind of floater move. However, he chooses to do none of that, which leads to a charge. Now that we've looked at Bobi Klintman's ability to score in transition, let's look at how he plays off the ball in the half court. Right here, you're going to see Bobi Klintman ready to shoot and space the floor. He's in the corner, and as you can see, the help side defender is helping off strong side corner. What that means is this defender right here is going to take a step away from Klintman in order to get in front of the guard with the ball. This is very common in the NBA, and you'll frequently see it happen. Bobi Klintman, while this is occurring, is ready to shoot and knocks it down. In this situation, you see Bobi Klintman push the ball in transition and then relocate to the opposite wing. As you can see again, as the defender swipes and tries to prevent the drive, Klintman is ready to shoot. So watch number 7 here. He makes a swipe at the ball, tries to get in the gaps at the driver. Klintman is ready and knocks it down. Bobi Klintman is able to make threes in a variety of different ways. In this possession, you're going to see him come off of a screen in a kind of what is in between of a flare and a pin down, where number 1 on his team is going to pin in number 14. Klintman will slide over and get an open look. Another thing that's interesting about this possession is Klintman has a smooth pump fake and knocks it down. In this possession, Klintman is going to relocate away from this corner with good pace off the ball. While he doesn't make the 3, seeing him run with pace and have a quick release is a great sign for what's going to happen at the next level. While being able to shoot the ball is very important, it is equally important to be able to attack a closeout. This is an area that Klintman relatively lacks in. In this possession, you see Klintman is able to get the ball, rip through, and have a really athletic drive. While he doesn't finish, it's a really good flash of something that can happen at the next level. However, oftentimes it is way too common and Klintman will settle for a shot like you're about to see here. Right here, he makes 2 moves and settles for a tough mid-range. That's not the look you want to take in the next level. In this possession, Klintman misses a potential kick in a closeout situation. Klintman relocates, which is good. He gets downhill, however, he's off balance on the drive. Right here, he could wait for a second, maybe get his feet under him, draw this defender, and potentially have a kick. Or if he does a better job reading this defender, maybe he can look the defender off and have the defender come away so he can have an easier finish, maybe score himself, or hit the man right here who's in the dunker. Instead, Klintman is off balance and takes a tough shot. You don't want to do that in the next level. Another aspect of Klintman's game that is very valuable is his ability to cut and make reads. Right here, you're going to see Klintman cut through the slot, which is basically if you were to draw lines right here through this elbow, and he's able to get downhill doing so. As you can see, that really athletic dunk is what is going to make NBA scouts really excited. While it's not something that he does a ton, it's a really nice piece to his game and something that you're going to see a lot more at the next level. Even though Bobi Klintman frequently plays on the perimeter, his ability to create for himself or others in the pick and roll is really non-existent. In this possession, you're going to see Klintman call for a wing ball screen. However, there's a lack of explosiveness or creation for anything. As you can see, he looked really uncomfortable and didn't know what he was going to do there, which led to the turnover. The same thing happens in this possession where he gets the ball more at the top of the key, and the pass is honestly just lazy. As you see, right before he makes this throw, he cocks back his arm like he's in a House of Highlights mixtape. That's not what you want to see, especially in the pros, and it leads to a turnover. Now that we've looked at Bobi Klintman handling the ball in the pick and roll, let's look at Bobi Klintman as a screener. In this possession, he sets a screen for a pick and pop play. However, there's a lot left to be desired. As you can see, he runs up and really never makes contact with the man. Maybe he brushes him with his arm, but doesn't really do anything. While that is common for players to slip the screen, when you slip a ball screen, you want to be running with a lot of pace. Right here, Bobi Klintman jogs and creates basically zero advantage. When he catches the ball, he has a good drive, however, he's off balance. As you see right here, he catches it with all of the defender's momentum coming this way and does a pretty good job ripping through. However, he doesn't get his balance under him. He should instead jump stop and play off of two. He potentially has a kick to the corner here, or if he plays off of two, he could draw a foul or score for himself. Instead, he's off balance and it leads to an awkward shot. Now let's watch Bobi Klintman in isolation. When watching Klintman in isolation, there's flashes that can get guys really excited. However, there's a lot left to be desired. On this possession, he has somewhat of a loose handle, but does a really good job and has a crafty finish near the rim. In this next possession, you're going to see Klintman get to the rim and hit his teammate with an easy dump-off pass. These are the types of things that get people really excited, especially for somebody who's relatively raw. However, Klintman is relatively soft when he goes in and tries to finish through contact. As you see in this possession right here, he stops short for honestly no reason. He catches the ball with good positioning, gets downhill, and has a small guard who's providing rim protection. 10 out of 10 times, he should be able to take one more dribble and finish with an easy layup. However, his fear of contact is very evident here as he takes a soft floater, which is very awkward. In this next possession, you're going to see the exact same thing and another soft drive. If you want to be successful, especially with his size, you have to be willing to use your body. Right here, he does a decent job getting downhill. However, at the first point of contact, he loses the ball. As you can see right here, at the nail, the bump occurs, which is a very clean and good defensive play, and he completely loses the ball. Another thing that may be a red flag to some scouts that is conditionally like a trend with him is sometimes he looks a little too often with bad body language and complains to refs. As you're going to see right here, as soon as it happens, he's staring at the ref and he's not getting back in transition. There are multiple times with Klintman where he could do a little better, but he chooses not to. Finally, let's look at the last aspect of Klintman's offensive game, which is the post. However, it's one of his major weaknesses. Right here on this possession, you're going to see him come off of a punch screen, and he's going to get the ball with a switch with a guard, Matthew Dellavedova, guarding him. He has about 6 inches on Dellavedova and should be able to use his size to score. As you see, he instead settles and takes a tough shot. In this possession, he has even a smaller defender on him. He should be able to use this size to get to his spot and score. However, he's loose with the ball and gives it up and turns it over. And, as you mentioned again, bad body language. His first instinct is to the ref. This is a loose ball. You need to make some kind of attempt towards it. Instead, Klintman is complaining. I think for Klintman to truly succeed in the next level, you're going to want him to be much better with things like this because these possessions simply cannot happen. I also think it's a reason why a lot of scouts have him mocked towards the second round when he really is a first round talent. Now that we've explored Bobi Klintman's offensive game, let's look at his defensive strengths and weaknesses. His first strength is his ability to switch in the pick and roll. As a relatively mobile player and being 6'10", he can guard all 5 positions on the court, which is really exciting. Additionally, his help side rim protection and athleticism is very intriguing to NBA scouts. As you will see in the next coming clips, he's able to use his size and length to block shots and protect the rim. While he might not be the 7-foot behemoth shot blockers like a Donovan Clingan you're going to see throughout this class, from someone that's more likely than not going to play the 4 at the next level, his rim protecting abilities is pretty good. Finally, Klintman does a really good job being in the gaps and using his length in closeouts. While sometimes he's late to be in position, his pure wingspan and size allows him to make up for that and make plays. This is why on spot-up possessions, opponents only score 0.74 points per possession against him. While these strengths are valuable, there are a few weaknesses. Firstly, Klintman has a tendency to over-gamble for steals. He thinks that he can get steals that he might not be able to, which frequently leads to guys being able to get easy baskets. Additionally, his post physicality is non-existent. He is in the 19th percentile for NBL players in post-up possessions defensively. He gets pushed out, gets bad positioning, he can't front the post, and he struggles to play behind the post. As you'll see, it's something that he really struggles with. Finally, his off-ball awareness is simply not at the next level yet, and sometimes he might get lost and his man can cut. He does a really good job paying attention to the guy with the ball when he could be in the gaps or do things such as that. However, sometimes he struggles to navigate through screens or simply just be aware off the ball. Now let's start off with watching Bobi Klintman's rim protection. In this possession, his teammate is going to turn the ball over and create a fast break situation for the Perth Wildcats. As you can see, Klintman starts off relatively behind the ball handler with a pretty good lead for the opposition. However, Klintman is able to hustle, sprint back, and chase him down. As you see, that's the kind of block that really only superstars make in today's NBA. It's really exciting and something that why a lot of people think he's one of the highest upside players in the draft. Right here, you see the exact same thing. In this possession, he does a really good job navigating the Spain pick and roll action. What Spain pick and roll is it's when a screen occurs for the screener. So this man right here is going to set a screen on the ball, and then Bobi Klintman's man is going to set a back pick so the roller is able to get downhill. Klintman does a really good job navigating this defensively. He first is able to tag the man and call out this switch, which is really good talk. So number 11 picks up this guy, and then he picks up the roller. While that's true, he keeps his eyes on the ball and is able to come off of his man in order to help and protect the rim. This kind of rim protection is really exciting. In this possession, he does gamble for a steal a little bit, however, he's active and he's engaged. This is exactly what you want to see. He comes over, has great instincts, and gets a block. Really good stuff. Now that we've seen Bobi Klintman's vertical ability and how that's able to impact the defensive end, let's look at his lateral athleticism and how that plays into effect. Right here, he's going to get the ball and go for a steal in the DHO, which maybe is a bit aggressive. As you see, his head's turned around in the wrong direction here. However, he recovers and gets back into the play. After this, it's really active and engaged driving line defense, doesn't get beat, and is able to stay in front of his man. Exactly what you want to see here. In this possession, he's actually going to switch onto a guard in the pick and roll, one of the things that is his biggest strength. The guard gets the ball back here for a reload in really good position. Klintman switches again, switching onto another guard, stays in front of him in the driving line, and has an amazing block. These are the types of things that are really exciting and you don't see in many prospects. Here, Klintman switches onto a guard again, however, he's able to stay in front of him and play without fouling. Really good. On this possession, there's going to be a double drag, which is pretty much when two screens occur on the ball, and Klintman does a really good job switching onto the ball handler and making a play. Right here, he stays in front of him, has active hands, doesn't get beat, and contests without fouling. Exactly what you want to see. While Klintman is able to succeed in switching and in a variety of different pick and roll coverages, sometimes he gets a little lazy and it leads to guards being able to refuse the ball screen. For those of you who don't know, refusing a ball screen is when this guard right here chooses to instead go this way away from the screen. What's really helpful about that is oftentimes the help side defender is to the opposite side of the screener. So if you don't use the screen, there is no help. As a defender's job, you need to get into your man, force him to use the screen while also impacting the ball screen. Ideally, if you're Bobi Klintman, you're probably going to switch a lot because of your length and size. So if you're guarding a ball handler, you want to force them to use the screen while also being prepared to switch. In this possession, Klintman cheats the play and has his first couple steps going towards the screen without forcing the ball handler to go that direction. And immediately after, he gives up to the play and is no longer in a good athletic stance. As you see, as soon as he gets beat here, he's given up on the play. While he may have been calling a peel switch, which is basically if this guy were to switch right here onto this man, you still need to be engaged because there's many opportunities in which the ball can go back your way. He doesn't do this, and they get an easy shot. One final thing to note about this possession is he doesn't crash the rim at all. If a switch were to have occurred, you would have liked to see Klintman get this guy and maybe try to box him out or make some kind of play there. Klintman doesn't really do any of that and gives up a layup. These kind of motor concerns are why a lot of scouts may not be as high on him, despite his talent being off the charts. It is a little concerning to see this from a prospect who's one of the older prospects in this class. Being able to defend the post is not as important as it used to be. However, you still need to do it in the NBA. As you're going to watch in this possession, Klintman is going to switch onto a man and play really good defense in the post. Right here, I can pretty much draw a line straight up showcasing Klintman's verticality. That's really good. Unfortunately, that's one of the rare outliers when it comes to Bobi Klintman's post defense. Instead, more possessions look often like this. A punch screen is going to occur, causing Klintman to switch on to Aaron Baines in the post. Initially, when this contact occurs, Aaron Baines is in the circle right here. Watch how far Bobi Klintman gets pushed out by Aaron Baines. Klintman is almost at the elbow by the time this is occurring from really just a lack of fight. Aaron Baines is able to pin him in, get great positioning, and get the ball, forcing a switch. That cannot happen. You're going to see a lack of physicality from Klintman on this next possession as well, where he's guarding number 15. He tries initially to bump and remain wide without fouling, which is good. He's trying to body up. However, he's too eager and falls for this pump fake, giving up an easy dunk. As I mentioned earlier, Bobi Klintman gambles for steals. Sometimes it works out and you see a possession like this. He shoots the gap, gets the ball, and flashes his athleticism, having a nice touch finish at the rim. Unfortunately, more often than not, it looks like this, where he over gambles for a steal and takes himself out of the play. He tries to get back in, which is good, showcasing some engagement. However, it simply does not work. You're going to see the exact same thing here, where he gambles for a steal, is late, and then once again falls for a pump fake and really showcases bad post defense. He gets lucky on that miss. Now let's look at Bobi Klintman in the gaps. As you see in this possession right here, Klintman does a really good job being in the paint and able to stop the drive. Ideally, he would have been there about a half a second earlier. However, it's relatively being engaged. He's here, he impacts a drive and forces a kick out. His length is also really beneficial here because it forces the shooter to take a tougher and quicker shot, once again bothering him. You're going to see the exact same thing in this possession where he does a really good job tagging the roller and being the MIG. The MIG standing for most important guy. Pretty much, Klintman comes over right here and is able to almost catch the roll man who's rolling to the basket. That's really good. After he does that, he helps off, has active hands right here, impacting the guard, really being good off ball, and his length bothers the man. This type of size at 6'10 and mobility is something you just don't see often. While this is true, Klintman sometimes is, to be honest, quite clueless off the ball. Right here, you see Klintman try to make a play, however, he's way too high. Ideally, if you're going to be in the gaps, you want to be here, and you always want to be able to see your man and the ball. Klintman is only looking at the ball right now. So he goes for the steal, and then has his head completely turned, which allows this guy to go right over here without Klintman noticing until it's simply too late. You're going to see a very similar thing happen on this possession, where Klintman simply cheats the play and loses his man off the ball. Right here, Klintman's able to see both, however, his reaction time, and he's just not being fully engaged, and it leads to a wide open three occurring. He's late, not active, gives up too easy of a shot. Overall, Bobi Klintman is an extremely intriguing prospect. As you've seen throughout this video, there are flashes that make you think, wow, this guy might be an NBA All-Star one day. There just simply aren't that many people with the shooting talent that he has at his height with his athleticism. While all of this is true, there are some massive red flags. Whether it's having not the highest motor, being way too loose with the ball, or maybe not being as physical as you'd like to be. It makes it where Bobi Klintman could really go one of two ways. I think there's a world in which he has a very long career as an NBA starter. However, a lot of that determines based on the organization that he gets into. If he's drafted by a team in the first round that has a good culture, for example, if he were to go to a team like Miami, I think they could really make the most out of him and he could be extremely successful. However, if he slides later into a second round and a team might not be fully invested in him, there is a world where he's not successful and is out of the NBA in 2 years. Bobi Klintman will be as good as Bobi Klintman wants himself to be. If he's willing to make the sacrifices and willing to work on the reads that he has to make to be successful, I see no doubt in which he's still playing 10 years from now. While this is true, he might be gone in 2. I guess we'll have to wait and see.